Hi, everyone. So
Hello.
I am here tonight with Lindsay. So we're really excited. Our work is so different, yet so closely aligned. And so I think this will be a great conversation. So I am Dr. Tanya Berfield. I help people who are just disconnected and feeling stuck and not quite sure how to get out of that. And so there's a lot that goes behind that. I call it mindset medicine. So we'll get into some of that and what that means for everyone, but know that I'm here. And then Lindsay, do you want to introduce yourself and talk about what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I'm Lindsay Vizathan, and I am a health and nutrition coach and body wisdom guide. I am now a 2-time author. My most recent book just got published. I don't think I even shared that with you.
No, I didn't know that. That's fantastic. Love that.
But I mean, the idea behind everything I do is listening to your body and taking those symptoms that a lot of times we are taught to suppress. I was in healthcare as well for like almost 20 years, nursing, and all those symptoms that we're taught to like put a Band-Aid on.
Yeah.
That's our body's way of talking to us. And so that's usually my big focus with my clients.
Yeah, I love it. And that you have a couple of things that I just immediately am drawn to. There's one statement that I was just sharing with you that I saw recently put on Substack that I was like, yep, there it is. This is what we do, right? And it was, all you said was, you deserve to feel well. Yes, my friend.
Yes.
We all deserve to feel well. And so I think that that's so important. And I think that it comes from a lot of, it can come from a lot of different angles. So tell me what that means to you. What does that mean that you deserve to feel well?
I mean, I think it's just not accepting the diagnosis, right? We are handed a diagnosis a lot of the times, along with, we're going to manage it like this, or take this prescription, or, maybe even like surgery, whatever it might be. Right. And I think in our Western world, we're taught to just kind of accept that. And that also puts that kind of, tying into, of course, what you do too, but puts that thought in our head already, like, oh, this is just,
I'm stuck here. Yeah.
I'm going to live with this. You feel limited, you feel defined by that diagnosis. And that's, again, like another big message, I think, too, of, yes, you deserve to feel well, and just spreading that idea of hope and healing, because maybe it might be something that you can't fully like heal from, but you can feel better. You can feel better.
Right. Yeah. There's always a best case scenario.
Exactly.
It doesn't always have to be worst case scenario, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that there's so much to dig into there. From my side of the house, I think that you're right. Whether it is a physical manifestation and there is a diagnosis, we've got a feeling around it, and how do we approach that, and how do we move forward through that? And then more often than not, the people that I'm dealing with, often women, not always, it's not necessarily because of a physical diagnosis. It's just because we feel unhappy, or, we don't feel well because we are trying to fulfill expectations that we think are other people's. More often than not, they are not other people's expectations. They're what we think they expect of us versus what they actually expect. And so how do we get out from under that so that we are serving ourselves? Because if we are not doing that, then we're not showing up for the rest of the world in a way that we need to be. So how do we navigate this a little bit differently? How do we think a little bit differently? How do we treat our bodies a little bit differently? All of that coming back around to like the mental health and wellness around some of those things. A lot of the work that I do is somatic in nature, which is exactly what you were talking about. Like, where is this at in your body? Because that's going to point us to the problem. Like, the body keeps a score. The book is one of my favorites, and it is so true. This week on my podcast, last week, well, it was this week. What I talked about was something that happened to me when I was younger, and it wasn't even like a thing that happened, right? And I keep saying, if you're my parents, please swipe left, because I don't want you to hear me talk about this, because you didn't do anything wrong. You actually did a lot of things right. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't impacted by something, because that's the way the life works, right?
Exactly.
And so my parents were super young when they had me. They were 16 and 17 when they got pregnant with me. And you think about like in that time frame, because I'm in my 50s now, there's no cell phones. Their long distance phone calls are very expensive. They joined the military and they moved away. That was how they figured out how to sustain life and make a life for a family. And so here they are at 16 and 17 trying to figure out how to do that. Can you imagine doing that today?
No.
And so what I felt was that I'm a burden and I have to earn everything and I'm not worthy. And there are all these expectations and I have to do all these things. They never said that to me. They never treated me that way. It's just, that's what I picked up by being in that situation. I'm sure it's because I was feeling their stress in the moment. Like my dad was traveling for the military. My mom was trying to do all of that. She had no support system. My dad was coming in and out. And so like, and they're great. They've been married for more than 50 years at this point. They're doing, and they've turned their life around. They're amazing. But that's what I got to live with. And I get to now figure out how do I navigate that and let go of some of those things, because they become limiting beliefs and they become the things that keep you stuck. They become IBS, they become colitis, they become, the anxiety and the depression and all of the things if you don't figure out how to navigate them. And so that was a very long-winded way of me saying, like, it all lands in your body and you got to figure out how to work through that.
Yeah.
I think that's
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if when we talked the first time, did I bring up German New Medicine then?
No.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into that.
Well, I mean, it's the same idea, that yes, like, those past experiences, past traumas can manifest, physically in the body. For PCOS, which is, one of the things I kind of specialize in, a lot of the times it's the cysts that, and sometimes they're not even true cysts, but they form to replace a loss. And that could be the loss of, a loved one. It could be the loss of a pet. It could be the loss of a job, an idea, like it could be the loss of anything that's not fully processed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so again, some of those symptoms can be part of like the healing phase as well, and not necessarily the manifestation of the disease. But they can actually be part of the healing phase. But then again, going to our traditional medicine and the way we're trained, we want to fix that. And then a lot of times that comes with side effects and a ripple effect of other things, right?
Yeah, sure enough. Sure enough. And I've been through some of that. I probably shared this with you that when we talked recently in the last couple of years, I've been through a lot of those things. I had cysts. I started with an ablation and then I ended up with a hysterectomy, which I'm still really mad about because I don't think it was necessary. But I was dealing with something and didn't know another way out of it. And so good and bad. There are good things that came out of it and there are things that I'm not thrilled about. And then it threw me straight into menopause. And so now I'm struggling with that and all the things that we have to do around that, and so what am I doing? Like, yes, I'm talking to the practitioners and I'm doing everything that I can physically, but I'm also coming back to my body and I'm listening and trying to understand, what did I miss before? What did I not do before? Because I think that we do that a lot. And so maybe sometimes we can, and I'm not saying don't go get healthcare by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes we can resolve things in a very, very different way.
Yeah. I mean, I think I shared, I have had my own experiences with autoimmune disease, and that's led me here, right? Like that's, I was not listening to my body for years. Looking back, it was years. I know, right? And then it was the stress of everything I had going on, at that time. But yeah, I mean, going to your point, it's about advocating for yourself. And it's, even when we started this, right, you deserve to feel well. And I'm not, I don't like to bash healthcare, but just because what they say doesn't mean that should be, the be all end all. There's so many resources out there now, right? So like, do the research, do some complementary things in addition to taking the taking the medication and seeing your doctor and all those things. Like that's fine, but also just be knowledgeable in what's happening in your body and the treatments that are being prescribed.
Oh my gosh.
For that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have such a great example example of that right now. My mom just had her knee replaced very recently. And my mom, I call her gas ass, like girl does not stop. She is on the run all the time. 70 years
Oh,
old. Like she's doing the pickleball thing. She's swimming every day, like rides her
oh
bike
my
every
gosh.
day. That's just who she's always been. She's
Oh, that's awesome.
incredibly physically active.
Mhm.
So she had to have her knee replaced. Her doctor said, you should do some of these exercises. And she was like, sure, I'll do those things. Plus she probably did 100 more of those things. And then a friend of hers who's not quite as active as she is was having a knee replacement at the same time, or a couple of like quickly together. And her doctor didn't recommend she do anything to prepare for the surgery except for show up for the surgery. And my mom said, you're going to do these things, right? And she was like, no, they didn't tell me that I needed to do that. And so she didn't. And she's not nearly as physically active. And so my mom's recovery, because she was already physically fit, but then she was preparing, like she was doing her squat, she was doing all sorts of things, getting ready, because she knew she could not be down for very long or she would go crazy. So she was highly prepared for that. So all of that complementary work that you're talking about, she did it all and she was ready to go. Her recovery was ridiculous. She was on her bike in 3 weeks, like with permission, like not just she decided. Like she was up and out, like in no time at all. And her friend, not so much. She's really struggling and she's in pain and she's not recovering the same way. Not to say it wouldn't have gone that way anyway, but by being complimentary, by putting the effort in, by being thoughtful and knowing what she was going to need before and after, she worked through that with a very good mindset. Like my body moves and it's going to be moving. We're going to do this quickly. She was ready to go. And so look what can happen when you do something like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great example. I have my cousin is actually going through chemo and radiation for cancer, right now too. And he kind of put it off for a while, and he was trying to kind of like do things naturally, like trying to, he was fasting, he was juicing, like all those things. And while it didn't get better, it also didn't get worse, I think. And now he's been responding amazingly to
his body was
the
prepped.
treatments. And also I think just mentally he was optimistic and he was like in the right place, because he waited, it was like 6+ months probably before he did find, like he had seen the doctor and gotten the diagnosis, but he was still trying to just do things on his own. So like he wasn't ready. I think he wasn't ready for those treatments because he knew what it would be. And then when he was ready, he was still doing the things and so his doctors were like, what have you been doing? Because you're responding really well. So I mean, mindset plays such a role in all of that too, right? Just being optimistic and going back to, you deserve to feel well.
Like if you deserve to feel well. It's so simple.
You do, I know. And if you believe that, like, yes, that's what's going to happen.
I completely believe that. I use a framework with the mindset medicine and the work that I do. And so when we're talking about like, maybe it's a trauma, maybe it's not, maybe it's just something that we're struggling with, the first thing that we do is we acknowledge it, right? Like we have to face what's happening. We have to face what's in front of us. And then we have to surrender to it. We have to say, yep, this is what's happening. We have to let it go now. So we have to be very cognizant and aware and reflective of, it is time for me to let this thing go from my mind, from my body. And then we start to rewire. And that's where we're changing our thoughts and we're moving back into positivity, not toxic, but back into some positive and reframing the mindset sort of thing. And then we do what I call manifesting, which, it's a little hippie woo to call it manifesting and a little bit trendy. But you can't make things happen until you do those first 3 things. And then you get to create the shifts and start to like sort of call in what it was that you were asking for.
No, I mean, I love that stuff. And like, I think I shared my podcast is called PCOS Unfiltered. And, when I first thought of my vision for it and the name, I was also thinking more PCOS specific, but it's definitely evolved to just cover anything. But I mean, I've had a feng shui consultant on there, and how like, the energy in your rooms and how things are set up and what's under your bed, like how all of that can affect things. I mean, I've had more practical people as well, more traditional
Mhm.
practical things, but I've also had like human design. I don't know if you've heard of that one as well,
Oh, yeah.
so
Mhm.
yeah, so no,
Mhm.
I like the
I
woo-woo
love
stuff
it.
too.
Speaking of, like, the energy in your room, I shared with you right before we started that I'm in the middle of an
Yeah.
unplanned makeover, and so this room is very different. But, like, overall, I'm not gonna show you because it's a mess right now because the
Mhm.
other side of this camera is not good. It will be within a week, I promise. But up like, where I'm looking on this side of the wall, there's a set of steps that goes up to the 3rd floor, and that used to be a boy's bedroom, and we built this because my husband's super handy, and it's really tall, and we have had this stairwell for 24 years and it has never once been completely finished because he would put it off. Because also when you have the handyman in the house, everything gets
Oh
put
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
And so that's natural. But I finally, when we started this project again, unplanned this weekend, I was like, wouldn't it be fun if we finished that stairwell for a change? And it got finished. Like, that is done. The rest of
Oh
the room
my
is not, but the
gosh.
stairwell is finished. And I said to him afterwards, like, I know that I'm just getting on your nerves. And right now you really just want to punch me in my face for making you do this all weekend. But you don't understand what that energy does, because I look
Yeah.
at that all day, every day, and that changes the way that I feel and the way that it's impacting me. And so
Mhm.
just getting that energy unstuck feels so amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
It
it
makes
does.
a
It does,
difference.
yeah. I mean, I went on this yoga retreat in Costa Rica back in April, and it was amazing. It was like, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about myself,
Mhm,
like, yeah, all the
mhm.
things. But when I came back, I was in this
Oh, yeah.
cleaning and
Uh-huh,
purging mode
uh-huh.
like
Favorite.
never before. Never before, but it felt so
Mhm,
good. So
mhm.
good. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
almost feel like I'm at a point where I could probably go through another round of things, but I was hitting drawers, I was hitting closets,
Oh,
I was like
yeah.
all the
Yes,
things,
it's
just
amazing. It makes
reorganizing. Yeah.
such a difference. And
Yeah.
I think this is really cool. So one of the ways that I work with people is called emotional ER. And so it's a 1 time or a 3 time, like we would do some, like, what is the challenge? What is the somatic to sort of bring you through it? How's the mindset work? And how do we navigate that? And one of my recent clients, she just texted me the other day and said, I have to tell you, and we didn't do anything major. Like, she just was stuck on a couple of things. We worked through them. It was great. But she texted me, because one of the things I said was, like, I think you need to do some reorganization and some cleanup. Like,
Mhm.
it's time to maybe clean some things up. And she sort of had like alluded to it, but I was like, nah, it's time. And so she texted me, and she's got like an early 20s son that lives with them as well. And she was like, I don't understand what happened. Like, I have started cleaning and I can't stop cleaning. My whole house is like top to
Oh
bottom.
my god.
My husband is helping. My son is helping. And I was like, yes, sister, that is what happens. You changed your energy, you
Yeah.
changed your frequency, and it
Mhm.
changed theirs. And that is when you know that the good stuff is happening. Like,
Yep.
that's amazing. And so
Yep.
she just, like, that's the thing that changed her world, is she started cleaning her
Oh,
house. So
yeah,
sometimes that's what it
yeah,
takes.
right? It's amazing what that can do. I know, just all that, like, even just the dust, whether it's
Mhm.
dust or clutter, like, that stagnant energy can just live
Yeah.
in that
I'm sure,
stuff.
like, I've never done any research on this, but I'm sure that's where the term spring cleaning came from. You come out of the dark winter and everybody's kind
Mhm.
of feeling blue, and then we clean, we open the
Yeah.
windows, we've got the lemon scent everywhere,
Yep.
and suddenly we're all feeling a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody probably does that. I don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, interestingly enough, for me, it's usually the new year. Like, the new year would trigger
Oh,
that for me more
yeah.
so than anything, and
Mhm.
also maybe because it's Florida, so we don't get a big
Yeah,
swing
you
in
don't have
season
the same
here.
quite seasons, yeah. I
Yeah.
have a little tradition because we do holidays non-traditionally, because of so many competing families, and I don't wanna have my time cut short, I want my own, so I always do it on a non-holiday a couple of days later. So on Thanksgiving Day, I always pick a room, and, like, we're
Oh,
scrubbing that
nice.
room top to bottom. I don't know, started it, like, 10 years ago, and now I won't give
Nice.
it up.
Yeah. Wow.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
No, I know.
So when
Now,
you are working with people, like, where do you start? What do you do with them?
um, great question. So, yeah. So I've definitely evolved.
Mhm.
My as I went through my own journey, my own health journey, nutrition played a huge role. I did not realize
Mhm.
it's not even so that I wasn't eating terribly.
Yeah,
There's a lot worse out there, but also I
yeah.
discovered I couldn't have gluten anymore and I had all these other sensitivities and allergies and everything just kind of came to a head, right? So like that was my focus, was nutrition for myself. And then when I got into this, that was my focus. As I've done this now for over 3 years, and looking back on my own journey too, I realized how much of a role stress plays
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. And sure, like foods are part of that. If you're eating inflammatory foods or foods that just your body, doesn't sit well with, then that's playing a role. But also stressors from everything else.
It's amazing.
So the nervous system is where I start. I'm actually revamping my program. I was doing a 90-day program, and now it's a 9-month program.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, to focus heavily on that piece, that nervous system piece. Before, I had like 2 weeks of, we talk about breathing and doing some inner work and not tracking food, but kind of tracking like how you're feeling around food. And then we get into heavily on the food. And so now it's more of 3 months of all of that stuff, the inner work, the breath work, that type of thing. And then getting into some of the food as well. Because even when you're like restricting, that's stressing the body out more.
Sure enough.
Enough. Yeah. And I even talked to them about like adding in, more fruits and veggies, of course, but like not even if you still want to eat your chocolate and have your soda and whatever, like that's fine. But like, let's flood the body with some nutrients and not immediately go into this mindset of, restriction.
Where we start. Where do we start? Yep.
Yeah. So that's where I began.
Yeah.
Building a really, really good foundation is the idea, because I always want my clients to, to be successful and then to make it a lifestyle, make it sustainable, not just, okay, I did another diet or program or challenge or whatever it is. No, I want them to really take something away from that.
So you're meeting with the group, I'm assuming, like on a regular basis?
Yeah, we're meeting monthly, and they have like journal prompts and workbook stuff. And then each week they also get some videos on, what kind of that focus is, for the week. I'm actually currently working to become a breathwork facilitator as well.
Nice. Yeah.
So starting to incorporate just some other, breathing techniques, like not just, we're starting with the basics, like 4-7-8 box breathing, that type of thing. And then we're going to get into some more.
The big ones. Yeah. I've done some. They're amazing. I love that what you're doing is not like, let me just teach you this thing and send you on your way, because we know that that's great information, but how do you integrate it is something very different. And so I think it's really important when we can stop and we can integrate. Maybe there's some accountability, there's, questions and answers. I think that's where you start to see success. So I think that's really amazing.
Yeah. And I love the science piece of it. Like I think that's my nursing brain too, but also I've learned people are going to stick with it if they understand why they're doing it, the science behind it. It doesn't have to be super complicated, of course, but I want them to understand what's actually happening in their body before, during, after making whatever change it is. I can talk at people all day long and tell them to change something, but unless they really understand the why, it's not going to.
No, I completely hear you. I spend a lot of time with college students too. And I meet with the first year students every semester and talk to them about mindfulness and self-care. And like, I'll talk to them about my model of self-care, but what I really want to talk to you about is those foundations. And you just talked about it. For me, I'm talking to you about your sleep, number one, because they're not doing that very well. Because of the job that I do there, I know they're not sleeping. I know that what they're doing at that time of the day, it's not good. And so I'm talking to them about sleep, and I'm talking to them about nutrition, and then I'm talking to them about moving their bodies. Like none of this is about preparing for a triathlon. It is about setting the foundation, doing the right things, and then adding the treats and the extras when you want to. But you got to start with a good base. You don't start with a chocolate cake.
No.
It surprises me, and I might be wrong, and they might be lying to me too. But it always surprises me, because I'll be like, "How many of you had a vegetable today?" And they mostly raise their hand, and so I'm like, "Are you telling me the truth, or are you just telling me what I want to hear?" But mostly they know what they're doing, and they're giving me good answers. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, and along with that is just like, kind of picking one thing at a time too, right? Because
Yes.
yeah, if you try to tackle too much at once,
Yes.
first of all, you're not going to know like what's really being effective, but a lot of times too, you're not going to stick with it if you're trying to do
Right.
A, B, and C all at the same
Yep.
time.
That's such
So,
a great point. It's not
mhm,
sustainable because it's too many
mhm.
things. And if you have good successful results, you don't know which thing was the thing that made a difference. I spent 20 years doing that. Like, let me throw everything at it and see if it works. And it works. And then I'm like, shoot, which thing was it? But I
Yeah,
can't keep
yeah,
this up, so I don't
yeah.
know.
Yep, yeah, and then sometimes that stresses you out more because it's like,
Exactly.
I gotta get my 10,000 steps in today, and I gotta eat this, and I gotta do this, and like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're just like checking boxes and not actually thinking about what you're doing, and then sometimes that can be more stressful. Like that's also why I
Yeah.
don't have people log food, like I have
Nice. Yeah.
them. It kind of depends on how comfortable they are, but
Mhm.
as far as tracking like how they're feeling around food. And so I might have them do it even just for 2 days because again, I don't want it to
Mhm.
be one more like thing they have to do, on their big
Mhm.
list.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not tracking calories and counting calories and
Right.
macros and all that stuff because like if you're eating the right things, first of all, but
Mhm.
also if you're just working on your stress levels, like you're probably not even going to be craving the chocolate
Right.
and all those
Right.
things too. So
Yeah.
then you're eating better. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So the goal of that work is not necessarily weight loss. I'm sure that is a result for some people. But I would say the goal is probably just around feeling better and like feeling happy and healthy kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point because a lot of people come to me for weight loss because that's the sexy thing. That's like
Right.
what you can
Because
measure,
we're looking
right?
for results, right? That's
Yeah,
all we
we
want.
want
We want
we want
results.
results. It's kind of
Mhm.
black and white.
Mhm.
But yes, they start realizing like, oh my gosh, it's way more than this. And they realize that just better health
Mhm.
is what they're looking for and weight loss becomes a side effect of
Mhm.
that. Like one of my
Mhm.
one of my recent clients too, she oh my god, so many great wins. I mean, yes, like she of course
Mhm.
like she lost weight and everything, but one of the biggest things and I even ask people about some of these things along the way because they don't even think about it. Like those aches and pains that they've had for years
Mhm.
they don't even realize are better or gone,
Right.
So, like, I'm constantly asking about just various things, but one of the
Yep.
biggest things for her is she's lived with asthma and allergies her entire
Mm.
life, pretty much,
Mhm.
and so, as we were going along, I was like, "Hey, do you feel like you're breathing better? Are you having any" and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't really used my inhaler much, and it's summer, it's hot and humid, and, like" yeah,
Mhm.
like, it didn't even really hit her, but
Yep.
then by the end, of course, that was a big thing. So, yeah, so it's like and she came to me for weight loss at first,
Mhm.
but she started realizing all of these other things, and she started realizing what was in her food that she was
Mhm.
eating, so she just felt more empowered reading labels, like, more confident,
Mm.
reading labels, and now it's trickling down to her kids too. She's got
Yes.
2 younger kids,
Yep.
so now she's like,
Mhm.
"I need to start looking at better alternatives for them, and
Mhm.
get them on this track or they're gonna
Mhm.
end up the
Yeah,
same
and
way."
and that's back to that frequency, right? Like the
Yeah.
the trickle down of that is amazing. I probably shared with you at some one point, but my this whole journey for me around all of this work that I do started, um, for a couple of reasons. One, it was about myself and
Mm.
how I was feeling about my life in general, even though it was a good life and I still wasn't happy, which is crazy, but that's what happens. But then also I have three boys, and one of them was diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexia. And at that time of our life, like, because he's in his 20s now, they just wanted to throw him on medication. And looking at the medication and the impacts of that later in his life, I was not willing to do that.
Yeah.
That was not a thing I wanted to have to deal with when he was a teenager. And so we just said, we're just going to go down this more natural route. And so we adjusted food. We adjusted some movement. He was already pretty active. And then like behavioral things like the cleanliness of an organization of his room and organization of his schedule. And then I also started doing some things around meditation with him.
Yeah.
And he was not a sit still kid. He was the kid that when you read to him, I would forget. And he's got a little girl now who is a mover. And so I'm like, oh, you deserve her. But you would read to him and he would be like standing over you and then down under you and then upside down and over your back while you're reading a book to him. And like, and anybody else, like you got used to it, but everybody else would be like, oh my gosh, he's so much. Yes, he is so much. But when I learned how to do guided meditation, not realizing the impact that was going to have for him. And it was incredible. He still meditates to this day and will still ask me to make him specific guided meditations for things that he's working on. Because that is the one time in his life that he can just shut it down and he can go a little bit more slowly than he normally would. And he can go in a little bit deeper because he's not on the move every moment of every day.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. I mean, and that's one of the things I'm like working on with this, new program is just pause. Like eventually, yes, we might get to longer sessions of like meditation or breath work, everybody kind of does it differently, but just taking a minute to pause and be present because we're so go, go, go all the time. We have our phone in our hands. We're, on to the next task. We're taking care of everybody. But and then take a minute to breathe and then just like think about where's that landing my body? Where, what's my body need from me today? So that's amazing that, especially starting them at a younger age, of course, too.
Oh, it was amazing. I think he was in 4th grade when we started it. And so he loves it. And then when my youngest son, he was super high anxiety. And I wanted him to start meditating when he was in high school. And he was like, I'm not doing it. So I was like, family meditation, everybody on the couch. And we would do it. And he would be like, I didn't do it. I just stared at the tree. And like, and Nash and I would look at each other and giggle like, yeah, you didn't do it. You didn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever floats your boat. Sit there and be quiet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So what are some of the other, practices that you use with your clients?
So many. So my doctorate degree is in transformative leadership. And then if you name a somatic practice, I probably have a certification around it. I do a lot of meditation and a lot of hypno meditation. So I have a hypnotherapy certification and I like that. And I like meditation, but I'll use both depending on what we're doing. But hypno meditation it's really fantastic and can have some really serious impacts for people that are really amazing. So I'll do some of that. Qigong is another one that I really love. So that's just energy moving in your body. If you think of like Tai Chi or Karate Kata or even a little bit of yoga or Pilates, because it's really just you're moving your body and you're moving the breath with it. And so if you can find out where something is stuck in your body or not, you can figure out where do we start to move it and how do you start to let some of that go. And that is so great for that pause and reset that you were talking about, because that's when you are triggered or you are in a moment, it teaches you to remember to breathe. Like we're just going to stop here for a second. And so you'll do it without even realizing that you're doing it. So we do a lot of those sorts of things. I'm sure there's 100 more. Those are the ones I would. I'm trying to think. Like I've got strength training, nutrition. It's all there. But those tend to be my go-tos because when you're working like hard and fast, those are the things that I think have the biggest impact with what we're working on. And also like, I'll talk to people about like, what is it that you need? Because what I can say, go journal and it'll be amazing. Maybe I will. It might be amazing for you. The thing I've been working on, I've been using journaling. I don't journal every day, but I find sometimes when you're working on something very specific, if you do some sort of like intense movement, like maybe not sprinting, but like go for a walk or do something that's really moving your body and getting your heart rate up. You come back and you meditate immediately, and then you journal. That rage on the page that comes out, you just ask the question and let it fly. That's Gabby Bernstein's Rage on the Page. I stole it. It's really good. I mean, it's there. It will be. It'll come out pretty quickly, and so it's really, really good.
Oh, I don't know if I thought about that.
Yeah, Rage on the Page. And if you do it in like that kind of sequence, your body like starts to prepare, and then we'll let it go. And it's really amazing. Oh, breath work. I didn't even talk about breath work. Of course. So those are the kinds of things, and I like it's tailored to whatever that person needs in that moment. I do oracle cards. Like not everybody loves to hear about this, but I love the hippie woo. And oracle cards are nothing more than self-development. They are affirmation or confirmation, or maybe a little bit of reflection in a way that we hadn't thought about something. And so I spend a lot of time with people and doing, because I'm a Reiki master, and so I do energy work around people. But I often will do Reiki from a distance, especially if I'm working with a client. I'll do it when we're not together, and then I'll send them like, this is the thing that came up today, and then here is a card that I pulled for you, and let's talk about that. Or else we'll pull it live, like when we're meeting, and they hit every single time it hits something absolutely ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. No, that's so cool.
Is that something that you're familiar with, oracle cards?
No, not familiar with. I mean, like,
You want to do one?
Sure.
Okay. I pulled a deck for you because I love to do this. So I pulled a deck out. I've got a gazillion decks back here, but so I pulled one out knowing who you are and where you are.
Oh my gosh.
So, oracle card. So let's pull it out.
Is there anything, Florida?
It's so representative. So is there anything in particular that you would want to ask a question around, or something that has just been on your mind? And there's no pressure to do that either, because we can just say, what do we need right now?
No, I don't think there's anything like pressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to move my camera so you can see me with my card.
I don't know if I like that face that you just made.
We'll see. We'll see. And I will tell you, some decks are a little bit more harsh with you than others. This one is a pretty soft deck. It'll tell you what you need to hear, but some of them will punch you right in the nose. This one doesn't. All right. So I'm going to move my camera down so you can see me. And sometimes it turns out a little bit like Rain Man on here. It takes me a minute. So we're just going to say, what is something that would be helpful for Lindsay to hear today? And we'll wait for a card to jump out at us. You see that there are different, there are a couple of different,
I see that.
These ocean scenes on the back of these cards. This is the first deck that I ever got, because I'm also very drawn to the sea. And so I really like it. Yeah,
I'm right on the water here in Florida. So.
I'm so jealous of that. I even use this deck in like staff development, like workshops and whatnot, because it's soft enough that people, let's see that. Oh my gosh. Oh, you can't see my face. Oh my gosh. So I love this, given what you just talked about. So it is imagine.
Okay.
Imagine. So may you look beyond what can be seen, is the affirmation that is underneath that. So imagine, and it's almost like, I'm going to hold the card back up for those that are watching. It's like under the water and like coral and reef and whatnot. It's really pretty. So I have a thought on where that's probably going, but does it land anywhere for you?
I mean, with probably with what I do, for sure, because I do have more plans for the future, like speaking. I've looked at TEDx talks. So yes,
I love that. Immediately for me, I was like, oh, she's redeveloping this program. There's more. There's more there. There's absolutely more there. And you're just sometimes like exactly what we were just talking about in terms of the work that we do in helping other people, in that pause, when we stop and we get quiet. That's when our creativity comes out, and that's when we get to reimagine what's happening. I was talking about the remodel of this room. The remodel of this room happened this weekend not because I wanted one thing and it didn't work out, but really what happened was I was dealt a hand that I didn't want to face. I did not want to deal with it. And so my little denial crown came on and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I have to do this instead. And so that kind of leads to a couple of things though, right? Like I got to step back from everything else that was pulling on me and I got to just focus and be quiet because I'm painting and I'm sanding walls and I'm doing the creative things that allowed me to be quiet, which then allowed things to like settle in, not only the thing that I was dealing with, which was the thing around my parents that I was talking about, because I did a Reiki session. I had a Reiki session done for me last week and I got just clobbered with some stuff. And I was like, I don't like this at all. I always go in so excited, like this is going to be so fun. And then I walk out. It's terrible. And so I got to let that just sort of simmer down. And then because I was doing the sanding and the painting and like those kinds of things, I also got to be creative and I let my brain play a little bit. And that was really fun. And also, some really just cool things came out of that. And like in terms of the work that I do. And so I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read you this book. So the reflection is the undersea world reflects your imagination. Rich with instinctive impulses, ideas, and emotions, immerse, you can look within, behind and beyond your current experience, and explore new possibilities without fear. That is pretty beautiful for you.
It is. I love that.
I love it. So there's also a blessing and a mantra. The blessing is, and all oracle cards are different in terms of what they come with or don't. This one has a reflection, a blessing, and a mantra. So the blessing is, may you conceive it. May you be led by bold dreams and intuition. May your creativity flow. May you seek the possible in the impossible.
I just got chills.
Love that for you. We are staying connected because I want to know what you're doing.
Yes, and I have some other stuff too.
Yeah. And then the mantra, and this is something that you can continue to say to yourself, is, I dream my vision into being.
Okay,
yeah. I dream my vision into being. I think that's beautiful for you.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah, me too. Thanks for playing with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I use those a lot when I'm doing work with women. It's like I said, some of these decks are not soft and they are giving us very hard messages. And they mean, just like the session I was talking about that I had last week, like it came with a message of something that it's time for me to deal with. Like, you're not going to move forward. You're stuck. You're stuck here until you finally face this thing. And so I did.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, I mean, and like we were saying, that ties right into me reimagining this program, right?
Yes.
And also there was a reason I chose 9 months. Like I was like, okay, I know I need to make it longer. I was looking at 6 months, but like 9
I know
months,
exactly where you're going. Yeah.
right? What do we associate with 9 months?
Yes. And isn't that true, right? It's so true.
Yeah. So it's like,
unless you're an elephant, and then it's like 3 years.
I know.
Well, I was doing that. That
in
makes
general.
so much sense. So in terms of like having the time to put all of the pieces together, get all of the pieces integrated, you stay accountable for that entire time. And then you're rebirthing who you are and how you want to become that person.
Yeah.
I love that, Lindsay.
Yeah. And I'm tying it to like my roadmap is the image of a butterfly. Because right.
I love it.
Same imagery of like being reborn.
I love all the symbolism.
The transformation.
Yeah.
So.
I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I'm going to anyway because I'm so excited. So 3 boys. We have one grandbaby who we absolutely adore, and we are getting 2 more a couple of weeks apart this winter, and we did not know that was coming in either case. So they told us very closely together. So we're like, this is amazing.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting. Really oh my gosh. Yeah.
We know we're getting at least one more girl. I'm not sure about the other one yet. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm moving into my girl era. This is so fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I don't have kids myself. I have 3 step kids and they're all older. My husband's a little bit older than me. So my step kids are 30, 28. And then actually today, the youngest is 25.
Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful.
So it's like exciting thinking about, you
Mhm.
know, where, yeah,
What
especially
comes next for
the two older
them.
ones are in serious relationships and looking at next steps and everything. So it's
Yep.
like exciting to think about that. Yeah. But right now I have my two little nieces that I
Oh,
adore.
nice.
They're up in Michigan and I go see
Mhm.
them like every 3, 4 months or so.
Mhm.
Um, so yes, and they're both, yeah, they're
Yep.
girls and they're outside getting dirty, but then they also like love me when, painting their nails and
Yep.
like, yeah.
Yep, that's exactly how my little grandbaby is. She
Yeah.
is she's like Thugzilla. I love her so much. So she is all about the dolls and the pink, and she always is into my earrings, like, "What earrings
Yep.
do you have on today?" And she
Yep.
calls me Yaya. But then we are out in the mud and jumping in the puddles
Yeah.
and having a great time. But I also think like the whole 9-month concept back to the babies, like
Mhm.
the whole thing around this rebirth is like not only the imagination, but the play and the building of and the enjoyment of and the
Yeah.
abundance and the manifestation that like babies bring to you. And so
Yeah.
I think it is really important to like tie all of that symbolism together in a
Exactly.
way that's successful for all of us.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love it.
Exciting.
All
Yes.
right. So we are coming up on time.
Yeah.
How is there anything else that you wanted to share? Anything else you wanted to put out there? Especially where do we find you?
Oh, yeah. I guess I should do that. So I mean, of course, I'm on Facebook, just Lindsay Bezethan, first and last name, Instagram, healthy_ever after 15. But my podcast also is on all of the platforms,
Mhm.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon, and Amazon's also where you can find my 2 books as well.
Nice. Nice.
Um, yeah, and otherwise my website is lindsaybezethan.com as well. So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
And I'll share mine too. So
Yeah.
same, right? Website is drtanyab.com, TANYAB. Podcast is Mindset Medicine with Dr. Tanya B. Amazon is also where my book is. And then all the social medias. Well, I say that Facebook, Substack, LinkedIn, a little bit of YouTube.
Mhm.
You can find it's
Yeah.
either Dr. Tanya B or Dr. Tanya Berfield in either
Yeah.
place. All right. Awesome.
All things,
Well, this
right?
was such a great
I
conversation.
know.
So thank you so much. Like this connection is fantastic. We will
Yes.
definitely stay in touch. I'm sure we'll do some more together. This is just
Love it.
wonderful. And then
Yes,
we end
love
up,
it.
it's so funny. We're both on the East Coast in the United States, and we end up sort of crossing paths on a regular basis in terms of that like line of travel. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely have to make sure we do something with that.
For sure.
Fantastic.
Love
All right.
it. Oh,
Awesome.
thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. All right. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.